What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Micha'ela Monique, and I'm back with another video. Now, today's video is going to be very interesting. It's going to be about the top mistakes that I made with money by the age of 25. Of course, now I am an adulting and personal finance coach. I have done a lot of great things. I've been teaching and coaching regarding personal finance, but I will say the thing that helped me learn the most was my mistakes. I feel like there's a few ways that you can learn lessons in life. You can learn by falling on your own behind and making your own mistakes, or you can learn from the mistakes of others. So I'm making this video so that you guys can avoid these financial mistakes that I did make by the time I was 25. If you guys aren't following me yet on Instagram, make sure you guys follow me over at Live Life Millennials on my adulting and personal finance page, and also on my personal page at I am Michaeela Monique. All the links will be down below. But I know y'all came here to learn about money, so let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, just to preface, there's not a lot of information for a young adult, for a teenager to learn about money. And when I was coming up in high school, there was no personal finance classes, no budgeting, saving, anything like that. So what that does is that already puts us at a place where we're behind. We don't know the knowledge that it takes for us to succeed financially. I feel like a lot of times financially, with us making mistakes, it's literally about us not knowing. Once you know something, you can make the right decisions. But if you don't know to begin with, you're already at a disadvantage. So it really takes the extra step for you to want to learn. And I actually commend you for being here in this video, because that means that you want to grow and you want to learn. So enough. Let me go ahead and get into the top 5 mistakes that I made by the age of 25 regarding managing my money. This mistake actually still hurts me to my core. It hurts me to my core that I made this mistake, y'all, and that is not taking advantage of a 401k. All right, so let me go ahead and set the mood, right? I was actually working a corporate job around the age of 21. I didn't know anything about a 401k. Mind you, I'm not thinking about retirement at the age of 21. That's not even a thought. But as you may know, we should always be wanting to save up for retirement, always planning for the future, because the goal on this earth is to live long, to enjoy life, and to be able to take care of ourselves, to sustain, to succeed. So we have to be always thinking about the future. And that's rule number 1 when it comes to money management, is making decisions for tomorrow, not today. Sometimes delaying that gratification of what you want today so that you can live in wealth tomorrow. And so, mind you, I signed up for the job. I'm getting paid my checks. I didn't even think. And the company offered 401k retirement accounts, and they were able to do a company match. If you put in 5%, they were able to match it. Now we have 10%. Okay. Some of the company's free money going into my investment and retirement account. But I just didn't know better. Nobody sat me down and said, hey girl, make sure you have 401k with your job. Make sure you actually check that box and say, yes, I do want some of my money to be going to my long-term investments. Yes, I do want to be going ahead and saving up for retirement. And so to this day, y'all, when I tell you, because let me give you the opposite of what happens when you do save up 401k. I actually had a friend at the time that was able to save between 20 and 30k in their 401k. Of course, they did not contribute all of that money. Some of that money was the company matching, but it's like when they walked away from their job, they had something to show for it. More than just their regular finances. They had some investments that had grown over time, and so that was able to give them more of a head start. Y'all, when I tell you, I learned the hard way. When I left that job, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know about a 401k. Let me call them and see if I have 401k. When I called the company and they said, you have $0. of 401k investments, I almost like choked. I was like, oh my goodness, I did not take advantage of this opportunity. So what I will say is, if your job offers 401k, make sure you're definitely investing in it. Make sure you're learning about 401k, all the rules, because of course there's penalties for withdrawals. Just kind of learn the ins and outs. There are some ways that your 401k can be super beneficial to you in terms of investments in the future. You can start your real estate portfolio with some of your 401k funds. You can buy a house with some of those funds. There are some ways that you're able to use that money in your life to help you propel to the next level. So I will say, definitely don't sleep on the 401k. The next mistake that I made, you guys, is actually funding my business with my own funds. Now you may be like, okay, how is that a mistake? You had the money to invest in your business. You are blessed to actually have the money to invest. But here's the thing. When I first started this business about 3 years ago, actually, clap it up for Live Life Millennials 3-year anniversary, actually this summer. And one thing I didn't know at that time is OPM, other people's money. I did not know anything about a startup grant. I did not know anything about a business grant where people are able to apply and say, hey, I'm starting this business. My business is serving this need and I need money for these expenses. Because one thing about it, baby, personal finances, I got that on lock. But when it came to business expenses, business finances, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother entity that you're doing accounting for. You're managing that money. You're tracking your input and output. But what I will say is, I did not know about the extra resources that are so available to us, especially a lot of new business owners, to help us fund our business and take care of marketing budget, inventory, home office, all types of things like that. And so it's like, when you don't know, you don't know. And that is why I'm telling you guys, because I want you to know, if you're starting a business, I would 10 out of 10 recommend you either look into business funding in the form of a grant or in the form of a loan. And so that is the mistake that I made. And now I'm, learning more about business grants, learning from people like Ellie Talks Money. She's a great resource that always gives us gems on business funding, business grants. She has an actual grant list, so you don't even have to really look for things. So I would recommend you guys check out Ellie Talks Money. Also check out Trishana. Those are really good business coaches that are actually spitting the game on business funding. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it back into the workforce, right? The next mistake that I made was not negotiating my salary. Did you know that people who negotiate their salaries are able to negotiate upwards of sometimes 65% higher than the salary that they were offered? So imagine you missing out on the money that you are actually worth and deserve because you did not speak up. Now say it with me. Closed mouths don't get fed. I remember working my first, 9 to 5 and learning that my coworkers had actually negotiated up on their salary. And I'm like, that's a thing? We can do that? Oh my gosh. And so there's a whole art to negotiating and providing, your value, pitching your value to the company that you're wanting to work for. But 9 times out of 10, y'all, when you're applying for a job, they're going to offer you the bottom line. They're going to offer you the bottom line. And so guess what? You negotiate over, and sometimes you can negotiate for a number that is so crazy in your mind that you're like, there is no way these people going to pay me this. And they end up granting you that salary or meeting you somewhere fairly in the middle. But 9 times out of 10, companies are expecting you not to negotiate because most people don't know how to negotiate. They don't take the time to really pitch themselves. We just kind of take what is given to us instead of going for what exactly we want. So I will tell you, in the times that we are right now with the job market, if you're looking for a job, when that company pitches a salary to you, you better be negotiating for higher, because otherwise you're just leaving money on the table, and 9 times out of 10 they're able to work with you and meet you somewhere in the middle. The third mistake that I made by the time I was 25 actually has to do with college, right? And as you know, there is a crisis right now in this country regarding student loan debt. So many students didn't even know what they were getting themselves into, and it kind of hurts my heart because I always felt like, back in high school, we would have college recruiters come to the school. They would talk to us about these amazing schools and amazing dorms and amazing amenities, but they wouldn't talk about the fact that it's a 5-figure, 6-figure debt attached to that unless your family actually has the money to send you off to college, which most of us did not have, including myself. So there comes a loan that is attached to this, and it's like the student loan debt is so crippling right now that it's preventing our millennials, our Gen Zers from actually moving on in life for progressing in ways that they really want. There's less people my age that are getting married because they're being crippled by student loan debt and extra debts. Less people are buying a house. We just have a late start. We're not starting families because we're like, how in the heck am I going to feed this baby if I have these student loans, if I have this extra debt? I cannot afford it. And so the mistake that I made, and like I said, you don't know what you don't know, is actually going the student loan route and not actually trying when it came to scholarships beyond getting into college. There's the scholarships that you apply for when you're going to college, but then there's the scholarships that are available while you're in college. And I do strongly suggest that if you are going to college, or if you are a current college student, that you continuously be looking for scholarships like throughout the year, all the time, throughout the semester, and always applying, because this can significantly save your college tuition bill, save you from a lot of debt just for putting yourself out there a little bit more and actually doing the research to find the funds that you need for school. There isn't a book that I actually want to mention. It's by Anthony O'Neill. It has to do with going to college and not going to college on debt. He is a really big advocate for that after he went to college. And shared his story and things like that. So I will plug his book here. That's a really good read. I think it's called Debt Free Degree. Don't quote me, but I think that's what it's called. That's a really good resource for people to be able to go to school and walk away debt free. One of my favorite examples of this was actually from a documentary that I watched. I will also plug that here. But there was a young man that said he wanted to go to school, get his degree to learn about business so that he can be a business owner, but he did not want to have $1 of student loan debt. So guess what he did? Guess what he did right out of high school? This man started flipping lawnmowers on Facebook, like selling them on Facebook Marketplace, and was bringing in so much money it paid for his entire college. So by the time he graduated, he had $0 in debt. So it's definitely possible. We can definitely be creative in the ways that we make money and save ourselves money during college so that we don't have to have that burden. There's so many videos on YouTube about the burdens of student loan debt and how depressed it's making us, how defeated it's making us, how it's making us feel that the second that we're getting started in our adulting, in our career, we're already 10 steps behind because we have this big anchor attached to us. So definitely learn from that mistake, okay? If you could save money going to college, do not sleep on the opportunities. All right, so the last mistake that I will share that I made by the age of 25 was, it sounds kind of crazy, but it was not in focusing on investing. I was definitely the budgeting baddie. I was definitely the budgeting baddie. I was definitely the savings girl, right? And as you guys may know from my story, I saved up $10K in 10 months by the age of 20. And so I had that down pat. The budgeting and the saving, oh baby, I could do that in my sleep. That was easy. But the mistake that I made is that I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. But I didn't know about investing. I did not know that you can put your money somewhere and you can let it compound interest, grow, flip it, all those things. And so at the time, I had put my funds into a bank that you guys are really popular in the US. I won't name their name, but I put all that savings into a bank that was causing me to lose money. One, because they're charging all these fees. Two, because they're giving 0.0000000% interest, which is nothing, okay, on your money. You definitely want to put your funds in an account that is helping you try to beat inflation as best as possible, I definitely recommend a high yield savings account, a certificate account if you don't plan on touching the funds. But I didn't know, so I just kept it in a regular bank account. That was not doing anything for me. I didn't invest in any stocks, any bonds, any of that. Like I said, I didn't do 401k. So, it was kind of a disadvantage long term. And like I said, you don't know what you don't know. But now that I do know, I'm definitely learning more and more about investing, ways to long-term invest, passive income, things of that sort. Because like I said, we're preparing for long-term. We're preparing for tomorrow. Especially in today's climate with the recession and inflation, we definitely have to be creative in ways that we're trying to make our money last longer. Because right now, the money is not lasting. So when it comes to personal finance, the biggest pillars are going to be, of course, budgeting, saving up that emergency fund, right? Saving up that 6 to 12 months of expenses, yes. Paying off debt, and then investing. So just make sure once you get to that place where you have already mastered the other levels, don't forget about how powerful investing can be. I will also link another resource. I did a webinar with the owner of Infinity Investing. This is not sponsored. I will leave his website down below. He has free webinars and of course also like free articles just for you to learn. So I will link that down below because he has some really great information about investing if you are getting started as a beginner. All right, you guys, this was so fun. Thank you guys for staying tuned into the video. Thank you guys for learning a little bit more about my journey. Like I said, I've made some great decisions financially and I'm going to share those in my next video. But I also made some bad decisions and I just feel like I wish someone was there to tell me. So I wanted to be that person today to tell you guys, to let you guys know some things that you can look out for that will really help you in your financial journey. I feel like at this time, we don't really have a lot of room to make big mistakes. So I wanted to help you guys prevent making those big mistakes so that you can get ahead in life and get ahead financially. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because we have more content coming regarding adulting, personal finance. So thank you and I'll see y'all next time.